Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today we're here for F1 Esports Challenges round 5 around Belgium. We are doing quite well in the championship so far. I think we were around P4 at this moment in time, as we're now in qualifying. Q2 this is, I didn't record Q1, but that was a one-shot qualifying, and here Q2 once again is a one-shot qualifying. It was raining until 6 minutes in the session and the track is dried up, so everyone was basically one run. So we just need to make sure we get a very good lap in, because I knew my raw pace was good enough to, even with a safe lap, get quite easily through. So now at the end of Camel Straight into Lacombe, we didn't have, as we go a little bit wider as well, but we didn't have a really good first sector. And so far this lap hasn't been that good, but I knew the pace I had, should be more than enough. So again, I go very wide. It's been a very mediocre lap so far. Now into this left hander also just, yeah, that was pretty good, I'd say. But now into pool one, very hard to miss the apex, but we don't. We do that pretty nicely actually, as we seem to be quite good through pool one. It's now into the right-left chicane. We do hook up that curb nicely into this left as well. Again, nice curb usage on the inside, but yeah, we're just not really pushing the limits with the outside track limits. To do a 0.288 split, and I knew if I didn't make a stupid mistake in the final corner, I was going to make it easily through with this lap time. Even though it's been a quite poor lap, but yeah, Asicom just went to P1 there. As Brock now goes to P1 with 172, which is going to be way faster on my lap, because my lap has been pretty poor. Final chicane, not really carrying any speed really, but yeah, I knew it was going to be more than enough to get through, as we do 0.414. Like I said, not a good lap, but we make it easily through into Q2. So now we're gonna go for our one and only run in Q3, because again, it was a one-shot qualifying, because it was gonna rain later on in the session. As we're lining up now to start our final lap in this qualifying session. So we open the DRS, down in turn 1, we want to be braking where the white line is. As we do that, yeah, it was a decent turn 1, but we didn't really carry a lot of speed, which is something you'll see throughout this lap more often. Because yeah, it was a one and only run, so I just didn't want to mess it up and not get a time on the board and start P10. But yeah, you'll see that throughout this lap. So now heading into Lacombe, we take this first part pretty nicely. Second part as well, good curb usage. Again, the third part also, it looks nice, but it's just not a lot of speed carried. Now into this right-hander. This time we're a lot closer to the apex. We stick to the right-hand side using fourth gear into fifth, staying in fifth through this left-hander. But the speed we carry through the corners just isn't high enough. The apex we hit are pretty good. As now Boom has been quite good again. But yeah, we just don't carry really enough speed, which yeah, should have been way more on the limit, but I didn't want to risk it. As now again, good curb usage on the left as well. Again, pretty good curb usage, using a little bit more track than in Q2. Using the outside there into this corner, and yeah, it's a 0.73 split, which is absolutely terrible. My PB lap, I was around 4 to 5 tenths faster than this, so this lap hasn't been good at all, but it's still solid. So if other people mess it up, we can still get a good start position. Into the final chicane, we brake way too early. We turn in way too early. It's just been a terrible chicane. It's just been a terrible lap, and we're gonna open the DRS, go across the line, and miss out on Ascom. We literally do a lap 1,000 slower than him, but in the final corner, I think we already lost like a tenth or something. So yeah, just a terrible, terrible lap. Still more than enough to stay P3, and it should probably have been pole position if I just took some risk, but I didn't. So now heading into the race at 5 red lights, and away we go. We get a pretty nice launch actually. The Nurko doesn't get away very well, and we're almost on the inside of Asicom. So Aurelian is also next to me, but Asicom gets run a little bit off. So we're gonna try and get alongside him, but yeah, it's just way too risky now. And if I finish in P3 in this race, I know I have pretty much qualified for the Pro Exhibition. So if the grid is as it is right now, I knew that I was probably gonna qualify for Pro Exhibition, and if I got a P2, I knew I was gonna I was 100% sure of Pro Exhibition. So this race, I knew in my head all race that I didn't want to take too much risk. So yeah, you'll see that throughout this race as well. We're just not gonna do any stupid things. If we get a really good chance at overtaking, we obviously will try, but yeah, we just need to make sure we make sure we finish at least P3. As yeah, I'm just now settling into this race. I had a practice race before this, the WR practice races, which was also in the wet. My pace seemed to be quite good, but then in NRC, I was driving against Asicom also in these conditions, and he was quite a bit faster than me. But in the dry, I was a lot faster again. So yeah, it's going to be difficult for me to get a good pace in the intermediate conditions. Usually, I'm not that good in the intermediate conditions, but I did some practice, so hopefully we have adapted enough to stay with the front group, the P1 and P2, and keep within reach of a win. And yeah, hopefully we can win this race, but it's very difficult, obviously, in the rainy conditions to try and overtake someone. It was scheduled to dry up later in this race, so yeah, we're gonna see what that's gonna do to the race. As nothing's really changed at the front, Gunerko is still leading. I'm still in P3, Asicom is still in P2. As now, these are the laps. It's drying up quite a bit, and you can see Aurelian behind me is gonna go into the pit lane. And that I immediately thought it's way too early. You're gonna go out on cold tires, um, on a wet track where it's very hard to warm up your tires. So I immediately knew that this was too early. And it's also going to be interesting if people are going to go into the hard or to the medium tires. But my idea was definitely for the time being to go onto the mediums because it's way easier to warm them up. Also, you can see the front group have pulled a little bit away, but they had a lot less ERS than me. So my pace was maybe I felt like it was the strongest out of the top three. To be honest, because I knew at this time like Asicom and the Nurko they had like 30% less than me. So yeah, if I use a little bit of my ERS, I'm obviously just with them again. So yeah, pace was actually very strong in the rain as well. We also pulled quite a bit of a gap to the guys behind. But yeah, again, like I said, Aurelian 2.6 seconds behind when he went into the pit lane, and he was in front of Tom. So we're gonna see if that stays the same, because that's very interesting with his slick tires. If that's the right strategy call. Some people might struggle to make mediums last until the end of the race, but I knew my tire wear has always been very good, and we were running a little bit higher pressures because I knew this was going to be a possibility that the track was going to dry up just when the mediums were just about able to make it. So I needed good tire wear to make the end. So yeah, I was prepared for a long stint on the medium tires and making them last. So yeah, Tom, I think he's used quite a bit of his ERS because he's going quite a bit of time on me on this lap. So now all of the top three head into the pit lane. Obviously making sure to brake in time, not get a speeding penalty. As we're waiting to turn into our pit box, we're gonna go onto the medium tires. As we obviously get a purple pit stop, bring the medium tires on, and now it's in. Now we're gonna be looking at Aurelian. Where is he gonna come out? Is he gonna be ahead? Is he gonna be behind? Is he gonna be behind Tom maybe? As we're coming out of the pit lane, Asicom and Denerco both out of my 1 second, so I'm gonna need to gain some time. And Tom is getting ahead of Aurelian. Aurelian lost 2 seconds on 1.5 seconds to me on the in lap, on my in lap. So yeah, it does show that it was just way too early for the intermediates. As Okianos just retired from the race. But yeah, you can see we have very good pace. We're already back within the second of Asicom, and it's difficult for me to see the ERS. But I think I used quite a bit here, but that's because I had saved quite a lot. And I also still had quite a bit more ERS than the guys had, also than the Nerco. So I was pretty confident I was going to be able to catch up if Asicom didn't get back in the DRS and I overtook him. But you'll see that after this corner, not sure if you already got it on this straight, but Essicom does eventually get the DRS here. I think he might get it here already. As I'm not quite sure if he got it, but yeah, we'll see. As I do get the DRS, and yeah, Denerco is still using all of his battery to make sure he stays out of the DRS, but he's just not able to. So now on lap 16, and the track has dried up quite a lot. As Tom is still 3.1 seconds behind, he had no battery, he was just using all of his battery, but yeah, you'll see that we are all saving our battery, so that's why Tom is quite easily able to stay or keep our pace. But now we've moved on to lap 20 and we've started using a little bit of ERS, and he's dropped back to 5.5 seconds. So yeah, it just shows that the pace of us three was clear. And we're gonna stay on board for these final 2 laps because I think it will show the pace that I really had in this race, and hopefully we can get an overtake done and secure a pro exhibition. As obviously it's quite nerve-wracking to go for a move when you know you can secure yourself a spot in something you've been working for all year. So yeah, starting off lap 21, I'm using a little bit of my battery, and I knew Assicom was doing that as well, because the Nirko was pulling a little bit of a gap to him, and I think Assicom's pace and his tires were dropping off at this point. I think at this point in the race I probably had the best pace of anyone. As now Assicom's getting quite close to the Nirko, as he's used quite a bit of his ERS now. And we still have 80% left. If I can read it correctly, it might be 70. I can't read it, it's a very small screen, so yeah, this race isn't over yet. I was still hoping for the race victory, but yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Something crazy has to happen, but you never know in these races. It might. As I could just see here that Assicom was gaining time on me on exit, so I knew I was using quite a bit of his ERS, and that gave me the feeling that I could use ERS as well, because I knew I had more anyway, so I could close up to him and still have the ERS advantage and try and go for the move. Not now yet, because it's just too early. If we use a lot of our battery now, we don't get the move done. It's game over. We're not going to be able to overtake him anymore, and we're just too far back still. As I'm using quite a bit here to get as close as possible, but we're not gaining that much. So that also does show that Assicom is using as well. So that basically makes our ERS advantage over him bigger and bigger, as Assicom is obviously wanting to go for this race victory, as this is going to be his final opportunity, but he's just already 7.5 times back, and that's just too much. Even on Spa with the long DRS straight, it's just not really possible to go for an overtake when you're this far back. So he's obviously going to try it, and we'll see if he makes it. I'm also using quite a bit to get as close as possible. As I'm still using, but I knew how much ERS advantage I had, because that's why I was using this much. I wasn't going to go for the overtake here, I was just pushing Assicom into using all of his overtake so we can go for the overtake on the final straight. Some people at this point were already around 75% on tire wear, and some people were getting punctures on the final lap, and I think I was only just over 60. I think I was about 63, so we've done really good tire saving, and yeah, Assicom space has just completely dropped off as Denerco has just pushed out of the DRS of him out of the second window, as we still have quite a bit of ERS to go for this overtake, and hopefully we're going to see him start flashing soon, because that means we're going to have a pretty big advantage on the straight line. As into the final sector of the race we go, and now I'm going to obviously use all of my battery to try and get past Assicom, as he hasn't started flashing yet, but we're still using everything with the slipstream. We're gaining pretty rapidly, as now he starts flashing and we still have quite a bit of ERS left, so we're gonna be able to go alongside him. He moves a little bit towards me in the braking. We are on his outside. We're gonna try and make the move stick around the outside. We leave him a lot of space, and he drives into the side of me, and I spin round. And yeah, we're gonna be finishing P3 in this race. But in the end, the stewards deemed him to be at fault for the crash, so he got 5-second time penalty, and we got P3, and we secured pro exhibition. So yeah, it's been a good race. Finally, a decent qualifying, and you see the results come in immediately. I want to thank you all for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and watch the other videos. And I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye bye.